Week 1 of the fantasy football season, and here's the top 12 kickers I'm ranking this week. The first guy, Justin Tucker of the Baltimore Ravens. So we know Tucker's always the first kicker off the board in fantasy drafts this season. And right now he's got a good matchup versus the Houston Texans, where the Ravens should be living in the red zone and putting points on the board. So this week with a good matchup, and like I said, he's the best kicker in the league and can kick it from 50 plus. He's number 1 this week. Number 2, Evan McPherson of the Cincinnati Bengals. Evan McPherson, another long boot kicker as well. He's got a good matchup here at the Cleveland Browns. This Cleveland Brown defense is a bend but don't break type of unit, where I think McPherson is going to have to settle for some field goals at 40 plus at least in this one. And with this high-powered Cincinnati offense, with guys like Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Joe Mixon, they're going to have chances to put points on the board as well. And I got him at 2 this week. Number 3, Tyler Bass of the Buffalo Bills. So this Bill and New York Jet team, this ball game, I think it'll be in the high teens, low 20s when it's all said and done, with 2 good defenses going at it. I know 2 pretty solid offenses going at it as well. But Tyler Bass, we know he's a good kicker. We know he could kick from 50 plus. And this is a big ball game. I know it's only week 1, but it's a division matchup between both teams. And a field goal or 2 definitely can make a difference in this one. So I got Bass at 3, and we know he's been one of the best fantasy kickers over the last 2 or 3 seasons. Number 4, Harrison Butker of the Kansas City Chiefs. So this Chief team, we know they put up points in a hurry. Harrison Butker, I know the accuracy hasn't been all that great over the last season with injury and stuff. But here in the opener versus the Detroit Lions, they're going to get many opportunities, is this Kansas City Chief team. And if Travis Kelce isn't 100% or is not going to play in this ball game, that's going to be obviously tough for the Chiefs to keep finding the end zone in this one. So right now they might have to settle for a little bit more field goal opportunities if that's the case. But either way, with this high-powered offense to be a kicker part of it, Butker every week is pretty much a top 5, top 6 kicker this season. Number 5, Young Hoku of the Atlanta Falcons. So right now, you know, Young Hoku, one of the best kickers in the league. At home, it seems like he don't miss. And guess what? Week 1's a home game here versus the Carolina Panthers. So another division matchup. And we know in these division games, folks know each other, obviously, throughout the National Football League. And that's where a lot of field goals are actually attempted. So I think to win this one, 2 or 3 field goal attempts. And they're going to put some points on the board as well with touchdowns, I think, Atlanta. So I got him at 5. Number 6, Daniel Carlson of the Las Vegas Raiders. So Carlson, we know he's got one of the biggest boots in the league. And this week here, they go out to Denver, obviously, where it's good altitude and the ball really carries off the foot here. Carlson, we've seen it last season and even in the preseason, like I said. He can kick from anywhere right now. So what a good matchup versus Denver, where they're bend but don't break type of defense at home over there in Denver. And with the altitude, it's a recipe for success, I believe, for Carlson. And I got him in number 6. Number 7, Graham Gano of the New York Giants. So Graham Gano last season, he had a bunch of double-digit fantasy point games. And this Giant team, I know they improved the offense a little bit, getting Darren Waller, obviously, in a trade, signing Paris Campbell, and drafting Jalen Hyatt, where they're looking for more touchdowns and field goal opportunities this year. But I think in this one versus a tough Dallas Cowboy defense, they're going to settle for at least a couple field goals and a few extra points. And like I said, Graham Gano has been an accurate kicker since he signed over there in New York. And I think he has a good game this week. Number 8, Jake Elliott of the Philadelphia Eagles. So Jake Elliott on a high-powered offense over there in Philly. They got a matchup versus New England Patriot defense that bends but don't breaks as well, where I think they're going to have to settle for a few field goals as well. But also they're going to put their touchdowns up on the board, because this Eagle offense easily could score 30 points a week on opposing teams. I don't care who the defense is with all those weapons. And with a quarterback like Jalen Hurts could do a little bit of everything. So right now, opportunities to be there for Elliott. Like I said, a few field goals, I believe, and a few extra points as well. Number 9, Cameron Dicker of Los Angeles Chargers. So this Charger offense is high-powered. And now with new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, they're going to take more deep chances and try to keep pushing that ball down the field a lot. So that's more opportunities for Dicker. He's got a lot of ball games indoors for a home game for this Charger team in SoFi Stadium. So right now, high-scoring game, I believe it's going to be. Dicker was solid last season for this Charger team. They traded Hopkins away to the Cleveland Browns since they didn't need 2 kickers. And I think this week he has a good ball game at number 9. Number 10, Greg Joseph of the Minnesota Vikings. So Greg Joseph, he's been a pretty decent kicker for the Vikings the last couple seasons. And guess what? Another indoor game here for Minnesota. and Joseph. So right now, Tampa Bay's coming to town. Their defense isn't a horrible defense, but I still think this high-powered Viking offense is going to find the end zone a few times. But Greg Joseph as well has a big boot, where he's a 50-plus yard kicker as well, any given Sunday he could do it. So right now, while they got a home game in a favorable matchup where they could be in the red zone and crap out a little bit, where I think Joseph will have opportunities. I have him at number 10 this week. Number 11, Brandon McManus of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Brandon McManus, he left Denver after they cut him loose, and he signed on quickly a few days later with this Jacksonville Jaguar team, and he's got an indoor ball game at the Indianapolis Colts. Like, we know Brandon McManus, he's got a great boot, no doubt about it. He's on a high-powered and up-and-coming offense here with a Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk. So right now, they're loaded over there in Jacksonville on offense. This Indianapolis defense is a middle-of-the-pack type of D, and I think opportunities will be there. And obviously, it's always a plus being an indoor game, and the 12th and final kicker I'm ranking this week here is Riley Patterson of the Detroit Lions. So Riley Patterson, I think he's going to have a solid season. And this Detroit offense, they definitely could put up points and get in field goal range this season here for Patterson. And it helps that they got 11 ball games indoors this year as this Detroit Lion team. But right here, week one, tough atmosphere, obviously, Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Conditions still should obviously be decent that it's week one. And this Lion team, they got to put points on the board. So I think, obviously, they're going to try for more touchdowns and might not have to settle for some field goals where they might go for it on short 4th down attempts. So right now, Riley Patterson, last season he was solid. This year, I think he's going to be good for this Detroit Lion team. And like I said, they got a potential offense that could put up anywhere from 24 to 30 points per game, I believe, is Detroit this season. So that's the top 12 kickers I'm ranking here for week one of the fantasy football season.